Ladies and gentlemen, good morning for everyone. And as it was already mentioned, my name is Oręziak and I am the PhD and assistant professor in the Institute of Justice in Warsaw. And I have a pure pleasure to be also a member of the research group Migration Challenges, Legal Responses within the Central European Professors Network 2023, or a little bit 2024 also, headed by Professor Marcin Wielec. So now going to the topic of my speech, today I would like to talk about the role of constitutional courts in migration and refugee affairs. It will be the Central European perspective. Nevertheless, before I start this presentation, I would like extremely congratulate and thanks to the organizers of today's conference. You are awesome for me as always. So thank you very, very much both for substantive and organizational team from Central European Academy. And now going to the main topic. What means this European perspective? The scope of my analysis, it was 8 countries, 8 European countries from the Central Europe. 7 of them are the EU member state and 1 is a candidate country. So I analyzed, as you can see on the slide, regulations and appropriate case law of constitutional courts in Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia and Romania. And ladies and gentlemen, it was an analysis of both the legal regulations from the highest level, so this is the constitutional one, and case law of the constitutional courts, and all this to indicate roles of these courts in relation to migration and refugee affairs. So, in accordance with the regulations on the highest law in these countries, and to be clear, for me, the highest law is a constitution, constitutional law, fundamental charter, etc. For me, within this presentation, just the highest law. Firstly, across of all these countries, what is a little obvious, there exists a national constitutional court. Secondly, the common denominator is that each national constitutional court has the power to assess the compatibility of lower level legislation with higher level legal regulations, specifically with the highest law in a given country, and B, they also have a competency to derogate or repeal and sometimes temporarily suspend in part or in a whole legal norms declared unconstitutional. Of course, I know, and you also know that these courts have many more competences. But aside from a certain differences, these competences indicated by me now, and you can see on the slide, seem to be a shared standard across all analyzed states. And thirdly, what is a little also important, in each state, in each country, under analysis there are regulations within the indicated powers of the national constitutional courts. Also, there are the regulations within the highest law that pertain to both migration and asylum matters. And ladies and gentlemen, the combination of these regulations with the indicated powers of the national constitutional courts potentially allows for a strong influence on topic related to migration and asylum, at least theoretically, because theoretically these constitutional courts can speak on these issues. Going to the next slide, ladies and gentlemen, for this reason I examined the relevant case law of the National Constitutional Court in Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia and Romania. And the primary insights arising from this case law were presented and examined in terms of A, power of a position, and B, image of the position. And now I would like present to analyze these results from the perspective of parameter 1 from my analysis. That is the image of position. This is about how, of course, if constitutional courts make interpretations of laws concerning migration and refugee affairs. This served as the basic for proposing some, I think, original methodology to assign a specific rule to each national constitutional court based on this parameter 1. And this parameter is a substantive internal parameter where the variants were, as you can see, A, the national constitutional court generally express itself regarding the interpretation of legal principles and or specifically concerning the interpretation of specific provision on migration and asylum matters, and B, what is the simple, the national constitutional court has not yet expressed itself on migration and asylum matters in a substantive way. So, based on the results of the correlation between the case law of the national constitutional court with parameter 1, which has substantive and internal character, one can arrive at the conclusion that the image of position of the national constitutional court across all the countries can be assigned to one of the following group. This is A, specific, and B, unspecific. And of course, categorization into group A occurred when the case law of national constitutional courts has been classified into variant A of the parameter 1, and categorization into group B, which is unspecific, occurred when the case law of the national constitutional court has been classified into variant B of parameter 1. And as you can see on the slide, all countries were classified into variant A, so were classified to group specific. The only one, Poland, is on the other side, is to the variant B, to unspecified. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also examined the relevant case law of the National Constitutional Court in these countries from the perspective of power of position. And to be honest, and this arising from my previous research within this research group. For me, within migration and refugee affairs, what is very important, this is the shared competences within the European Union. Power of position of constitutional courts in this matter depends on the relationship with European Union law and the Court of Justice of European Union jurisprudence. So I also examine and assign a specific rule to each national constitutional court based on parameter 2. This is the systematic institutional external parameter where the variants were A, as you can see, A, the national constitutional court discusses the relationship with EU law and argues that national law, the constitutional one, including the competences of the national constitutional court, is above European Union law. B, the National Constitutional Court discussed the relationship with European Union law and assessed that national law, constitutional one, including the competences of the National Constitutional Court, is generally above European Union law, and claims that the National Constitutional Court does not intend to use its competences for now, but will not hesitate to do so in an exceptional situation requiring a response. This is the reserved right to intervene. And C, the National Constitutional Court discussed the relationship with European Union law and argues that national law, the constitutional law, competences of National Constitutional Court is under European Union law. And last but not least, the National Constitutional Court has not yet expressed itself on the relationship with European Union law. Ladies and gentlemen, this leads to the conclusions that the power of the position of the National Constitutional Court based on its case law can be categorized into one of the following groups, in my opinion: A, strong, B, moderate, C, weak, and D, unknown strong. And categorization to the group A occurred when the case law of the National Constitutional Court has been classified into variant A, as you can see at the slide. This is the strong of parameter 2. Categorization into group B, moderate, occurred when the case law of the National Constitutional Court has been classified into variant B of parameter 2, and categorization into group C, this is the weak occurred when the case law of the National Constitutional Court has been classified into variant C of parameter 2. And last but not least, categorization into group D occurred when the case law of the National Constitutional Court has been classified into variant D of parameter 2, and the exception, the only one exception to this rule will were the National Constitutional Court of Serbia, because Serbia is not a member state of the European Union, but this means that the National Constitutional Court in Serbia didn't have the opportunity to issue a ruling related to the relationship between national law, including its competencies, of the National Constitutional Court in Serbia, and EU law, the Court of Justice of European Union jurisprudence. All through Serbia is a candidate country for the European Union. It currently does not engage in complex competency interactions with the European Union. And this reasoning leads to the conclusion that the National Constitutional Court in Serbia automatically holds the status of the highest constitutional judicial body in Serbia. Including above international bodies, as it currently does engage with European Union law and Court of Justice of European Union jurisprudence, they make a lot of references to the Human Rights Card, but they treat it under the national law. So regarding the specific strength assignment to the National Constitutional Court, it was justified to assign Serbia to Group A strong, but on the slide it is to D because they in fact not issued the rulings, but at the final conclusion I treat Serbia as a strong. So as you can see, to the variant A were classified constitutional courts from Poland, Hungary, Croatia, Romania. To the variant B, none of them. Variant C, Czechia, Slovakia, and variant D, Serbia and Slovenia. And one more thing, that why there is a variant B? Because that was the variant for Czechia and Slovakia, but they changed their case law. In 2023, one of them, in 2020, the second, and go from the variant B to variant C. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on these assumptions, one can conclude regarding the role of specific National Constitutional Court in migration and asylum matters. The assignment of the role consisted of two premises, in my opinion. Firstly, the premise of the power of the position, and secondly, the premise of the image of the position. In other words, combining the power of the position with the image of the position will address the question about the role of the National Constitutional Court in migration and asylum matters. And within the first premise, as I mentioned, each of the analyzed countries can be assigned to one of the four groups: strong, moderate, weak, or unknown strong. In the context of the second premise, each of the analyzed countries can be assigned to one of the two groups, specific and unspecific. So, the National Constitutional Courts in Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia and Romania can be assigned one of the following rules in migration and asylum matters, and now I will present it from the hierarchic point of view. A, strong specific, B, strong unspecific, C, moderate specific, D, moderate unspecific, E, weak specific, F, weak unspecific, G, unknown strong specific, and H, unknown strong unspecific. And this leads to the important conclusion, in my opinion, that National Constitutional Courts in Hungary, Serbia, Croatia and Romania have been classified at the first level of significance. This means that their rulings on migration and asylum matters must be considered not only within their country, but also at the European Union level. And additionally, it is crucial to remember that migration and refugee affairs issues, asylum issues, based on the European Union terminology from the primary EU law, are shared competences. Therefore, assigning high level of significance to the role of the National Constitutional Courts become even more important. Slightly less important role in this context has the national constitutional cards in Poland, which has been classified in the second level of significance. But what is important, if the national constitutional card in Poland makes rulings on asylum and migration, it would automatically qualify for the first level of significance. However, in a less favorable position are national constitutional cards in Czech Republic and Slovakia, which were classified at the fifth level of significance. This indicates that while the rulings of these national constitutional cards are important, of course, within their national structures, at the European Union level they are less or no significance. This is mainly due to the fact that migration and asylum fall, as I mentioned it, under shared competences regulated by primary EU law. Consequently, the European Union, in line with national constitutional cards in Czech Republic and Slovakia, own decisions, may not consider their position in matters of migration and asylum. Meanwhile, the mystery lies with the national constitutional cards in Slovenia, which will determine its power of position once, if ever, it issues a ruling regarding the relationship between national constitutional law and its own competences with European Union law and Court of Justice of European Union jurisprudence. So, going to the conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, in a very brief terms, my proposal is that European Union member states, while safeguarding their independence and sovereignty, should take a stance that as national entities, they are fully legitimate to make interpretations of European Union primary law according to the concerning the principle of conferral, principle of proportionality, and what is here very important, the subsidiarity principle. It appears that even through European Union member states under such circumstances may opt for creating a new structure at the international level, including with the European Union. The most natural solutions maybe would be for their national constitutional cards to act as a megaphone in this context. And here I would like to refer only to my first presentation within first research group conference in Budapest, when I reflected on this issue in detail. This proposal seems to be a valuable guidance, not only for European Union member states, but also for European Union candidate countries. Ladies and gentlemen, as a conclusion, I would like to indicate one more thing, that the entirety of considerations made under this presentation leads to the conclusions that in fact currently there is no common standard concerning the role of national constitutional cards across all countries: Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia and Romania, regarding migration and asylum issues. There are maybe certain similarities, maybe even convergence in terms of the power and image of position. This also implies assigning similar or sometimes maybe the same roles concerning migration and asylum. However, it's essential to remember that the image of the position here across my analysis as categorized only as specific and unspecific carries different substantive load. Therefore, while these indicated similarities are visible, the approach of each national constitutional card to substantive matters is somewhat different, reflecting the specificity of national identity. Conversely, the power of the position of each national constitutional card concerning structural or institutional issues is more susceptible to methodological analysis. This is an important distinction because while it's challenging to expect emergence of a common substantive standard, this is the image of the position, in my opinion, it's feasible to anticipate the development of shared institutional structural standard. This is the power of the position, even utilizing the proposed method outlined in my presentation, or maybe more precisely and more in detail in my chapter. Additionally, it leads to another significant conclusions that for the significant of the roles of national constitutional courts in countries engaged in complex competency interactions with the European Union, defining the relationship between national constitutional law and the competencies of the national constitutional court with European Union law and Court of Justice of the European Union law Court of Justice. Case law is crucial, hence it can be concluded ultimately that, in my opinion, in the context of interactions between European Union member states and the European Union, the significance of the role of the National Constitutional Court in migration and asylum matters is determined by defining the relationship between national law, constitutional, including the competences of the National Constitutional Court, and EU law, including Court of Justice of European Union jurisprudence. So this conclusion is also, in my opinion, a valuable guideline for European Union candidate countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind attention. And this accent, I would like to end my speech. Thank you very much.